Well, picked this thing up yesterday. This is a Pioneer SX-1000TW. The owner said it was his uncle's, got passed down through the family. Was working until recently when it started to blow a fuse. He said that blew the fuse, he didn't have anything to replace it with, so he was just looking to sell it. When I got it home, checked the fuse was blown. It looked like a 3 amp fuse was placed in there, even though the manual has a 1.5 amps, so hopefully that didn't do anything too bad to this unit. That extra 1.5 amps added on there. So put in a correct fuse and hooked it up to the dim bulb tester, and it lit up like a Christmas tree. So gonna be digging in, seeing what I can find in here, see if I can figure out what's going on with it and how to fix it. We got this Pioneer SX-1000TW here on the bench, and gonna try and do a quick video of working through this thing. Right now this thing definitely has some issues. Got it hooked up to the dim bulb, and I'll just hit the switch on that just to show. And as you can see, lights up like a Christmas tree. So there are a few kind of suspect boards in here which appear, or from reading online, appear to have the common trouble. The big one we're going to be checking out first is the power supply board in the back there. So before I start digging around, let's make sure that we don't have anything in here that's going to shock me. Make sure these capacitors are discharged. That one's got like 2 volts. This one's got 1.5 volts. Looks like they're draining, but speed it up. Got a little capacitor discharge tool here. Basically, alligator clip on one end, resistor on the other. Just hook it up to the chassis and discharge these caps. Okay, check it out now. Okay, a couple millivolts and a couple millivolts. Okay, so I'm going to start digging into this thing, see what we can find. Did a little probing of some of the diodes on this power supply board in circuit, and 2 seem to kind of pass current both ways, while the other 2 that I tested were one way each, like a diode should be. And they're all the same diode, so you'd figure they'd all behave the same. So these top 2, I'm suspecting could be bad. The bottom 2 tested okay. Again, they're all the same diode. So what I'm going to do is just lift the leg on each and do a confirmation test. So just going to get some solder wick, solder, iron, and try and get some of the legs loose on this to do an out of circuit test. Okay, so I got one leg lifted on each of those 4 diodes, so we can just go through and test them. So I got my multimeter on its diode function, so it's going to show the kind of voltage across the diodes here. So you can see in this direction we have a reading of about 0.005 on the top one, and then in the other direction we have a reading of It's jumping around a little bit, but it's about the same. So that is probably not good. Should only be reading in one direction. On this one, .002, and try the other direction. About the same, .001, .002. So those were the two that were testing bad in the circuit, or rather testing they had continuity in each direction. So now we go down to the bottom two. Okay, in this direction we have open line, so block and flow, which is what it should be doing. Okay, same thing on the one on the bottom, and then if we switch, we'll get our voltage reading, 0.05 or 0.5 and 0.5 in a little bit. So what that is telling me is that these top two here are probably no good. That could be causing the issues, but we'll swap them out and see if that fixes our problem. Okay, so I've got these big beefy looking diodes here. These are 1N5404s. They were kind of the recommended replacements by Mark the Fixer, the pioneer guru over at Audio Karma. If my camera will focus in. But anyway, we're going to drop these in and see what happens. Okay, so we've got the old ones out. As you can see, the service manual was calling for SW-1-102s, but what was actually installed were these FR2s. And the ones with the red colored legs were the ones that tested okay, or at least not failed. And the black colored legs were the ones tested, or that tested bad. I'm not sure if you can see it, but the ones that tested bad have these little kind of gnarly spots on them. This one like right by the leg, and this one in the center. I'm not sure if that kind of indicates the failure. Something went wrong and overheated and kind of blew out some of the plastic or whatever on here. So we'll get got the new ones in, gonna solder them in and see what we get. So we got the new diodes soldered in and attached. Okay, so old ones are out, new ones in. Got it hooked up to the good old dim bulb tester. Let's see if those failed diodes were what was causing our issues here. So the switch, bulb did not illuminate, and the unit has powered on. So at first glance, it looks like we fixed at least the major problem there. Let's just flip over to FM. Okay, so we got that bulb. Looks like the tuning meter is deflecting for us. Okay, so looks like our issue was a couple failed diodes in that power supply unit. I'll probably go through this one, do a full restoration video. But for now, it looks like this receiver is at least turning on. So I'll do a little bit more testing and put in Mauser DigiKey order, get us some new capacitors, and get any failure-prone parts out of here. There could be a couple transistors or other diodes that are known to go bad, and I know for a fact that these pots here should probably go as well. They can fail and cause some serious issues with the bias. So yeah, that's a wrap for now, and we'll get back with a full restoration video on this thing.